The Commission for Independent Education has changed the way schools will participate remotely in meetings. Moving forward, CIE will be using Zoom Webinar, and there are a few differences to be aware of. The first process to be aware of is registration. When you click on the invitation link on CIE's home page, you will be taken to a registration page. This page has 5 questions that must be filled in: first name, last name, email, confirmation of your email, and organization name. After you register, you will receive an email that includes the Zoom link to access the webinar. Please do not share this link, as it will only work with one device per registrant. If you have multiple people calling in, they should all register individually. On the day of the meeting, we advise you to have only one device in the room. Multiple devices in the same room can lead to audio problems that make it difficult for the commissioners to hear you and for you to hear them. If you have multiple people from your team on the call, they should all be in separate locations. When the meeting starts, all of the schools will be listed as attendees. Attendees cannot display their video camera and cannot turn on their microphone unless asked to do so by a moderator. But attendees can ask questions using the Q&A feature. Please note, questions are displayed publicly, so do not put any sensitive or private information in the Q&A. During the meeting, when your school is recognized, you will need to raise your digital hand, which will help moderators find you in the list of attendees logged into the meeting. When this happens, you will be asked to unmute your microphone. Once you unmute yourself, you will be able to speak. If you call in using a phone instead of a computer, you can raise your digital hand by pressing *9 and unmute yourself by pressing *6. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you at the next meeting. The Commission for Independent Education has changed the way schools will participate remotely in meetings. Moving forward, CIE will be using Zoom Webinar, and there are a few differences to be aware of. The first process to be aware of is registration. When you click on the invitation link on CIE's home page, you will be taken to a registration page. This page has 5 questions that must be filled in: first name, last name, email, confirmation of your email, and organization name. After you register, you will receive an email that includes the Zoom link to access the webinar. Please do not share this link, as it will only work with one device per registrant. If you have multiple people calling in, they should all register individually. On the day of the meeting, we advise you to have only one device in the room. Multiple devices in the same room can lead to audio problems that make it difficult for the commissioners to hear you and for you to hear them. If you have multiple people from your team on the call, they should all be in separate locations. When the meeting starts, all of the schools will be listed as attendees. Attendees cannot display their video camera and cannot turn on their microphone unless asked to do so by a moderator. But attendees can ask questions using the Q&A feature. Please note, questions are displayed publicly, so do not put any sensitive or private information in the Q&A. During the meeting, when your school is recognized, you will need to raise your digital hand, which will help moderators find you in the list of attendees logged into the meeting. When this happens, you will be asked to unmute your microphone. Once you unmute yourself, you will be able to speak. If you call in using a phone instead of a computer, you can raise your digital hand by pressing *9 and unmute yourself by pressing *6. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you at the next meeting. The Commission for Independent Education has changed the way schools will participate remotely in meetings. Moving forward, CIE will be using Zoom Webinar, and there are a few differences to be aware of. The first process to be aware of is registration. When you click on the invitation link on CIE's homepage, you will be taken to a registration page. This page has 5 questions that must be filled in: first name, last name, email, confirmation of your email, and organization name. After you register, you will receive an email that includes the Zoom link to access the webinar. Please do not share this link, as it will only work with one device per registrant. If you have multiple people calling in, they should all register individually. On the day of the meeting, we advise you to have only one device in the room. Multiple devices in the same room can lead to audio problems that make it difficult for the commissioners to hear you and for you to hear them. If you have multiple people from your team on the call, they should all be in separate locations. When the meeting starts, all of the schools will be listed as attendees. Attendees cannot display their video camera and cannot turn on their microphone unless asked to do so by a moderator. But attendees can ask questions using the Q&A feature. Please note, questions are displayed publicly, so do not put any sensitive or private information in the Q&A. During the meeting, when your school is recognized, you will need to raise your digital hand, which will help moderators find you in the list of attendees logged into the meeting. When this happens, you will be asked to unmute your microphone. Once you unmute yourself, you will be able to speak. If you call in using a phone instead of a computer, you can raise your digital hand by pressing *9 and unmute yourself by pressing *6. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you at the next meeting. The Commission for Independent Education has changed the way schools will participate remotely in meetings. Moving forward, CIE will be using Zoom Webinar, and there are a few differences to be aware of. The first process to be aware of is registration. When you click on the invitation link on CIE's homepage, you will be taken to a registration page. This page has 5 questions that must be filled in: first name, last name, email, confirmation of your email, and organization name. After you register, you will receive an email that includes the Zoom link to access the webinar. Please do not share this link, as it will only work with one device per registrant. If you have multiple people calling in, they should all register individually. On the day of the meeting, we advise you to have only one device in the room. Multiple devices in the same room can lead to audio problems that make it difficult for the commissioners to hear you and for you to hear them. If you have multiple people from your team on the call, they should all be in separate locations. When the meeting starts, all of the schools will be listed as attendees. Attendees cannot display their video camera and cannot turn on their microphone unless asked to do so by a moderator. But attendees can ask questions using the Q&A feature. Please note, questions are displayed publicly, so do not put any sensitive or private information in the Q&A. During the meeting, when your school is recognized, you will need to raise your digital hand, which will help moderators find you in the list of attendees logged into the meeting. When this happens, you will be asked to unmute your microphone. Once you unmute yourself, you will be able to speak. If you call in using a phone instead of a computer, you can raise your digital hand by pressing *9 and unmute yourself by pressing *6. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you at the next meeting.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Today is November 22nd. We will be chaired by Commissioner Sharon Taylor Ellis, so I will go ahead and turn it over to you.
Thank you. Good morning. Ms. Hood, can we have the roll call, please?
Yes, good morning.
Commissioner Taylor Ellis,
Present.
Commissioner Trey Williams, Commissioner Whitaker, Commissioner Whitaker,
Did we lose audio?
Yes. Ms. Hood, we cannot hear you.
Commissioner Whitaker,
Present.
Commissioner Cross,
Present.
Commissioner Marty, and Commissioner Stefano.
Present.
It's now time for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand or be ready for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you for joining us this morning. This meeting has two viewing options as follows. Please use option 1 if you wish to view the meeting. Navigate to the Commissioner's Agenda Information webpage and click on the webcast link available for the desired day. Today's agenda addresses degree granting institutions. These links will direct you to a live video feed of the meeting that will be used for viewing purposes only. This option does not allow anyone to communicate to the commission or staff. Please use option 2 if you need to communicate with the commission during today's meeting, including institutions on this agenda. Navigate to the webcast links referenced a moment ago and locate the Zoom webinar registration link under the video link. There's a separate registration link for each day, yesterday the 21st and today the 22nd. You must register separately for each day. This link will then send a confirmation email that contains additional information on how to proceed with viewing the meeting. When registering, please note the following. A separate registration is required for each user as shared logins are not permitted. When registering, please use your school name as it appears on the agenda in the designated organization box. This will assist with identifying schools during the meeting. The confirmation email contains instructions for dialing into the webinar for users desiring to call in. If your school is called, please raise your digital hand and unmute yourself. During the meeting, please ensure your device remains muted unless you are speaking with the commission. It is recommended that only one device be in the same room at a time. If multiple devices are nearby, please be sure to silence the volume and make sure they are muted. This will prevent any feedback during the meeting. For users who use the dial-in feature, you can press *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute your phone. For technical assistance with using Zoom, please see the Zoom technical support website link identified on the CIE website. For questions or concerns, please email cieinfo@fldoe.org. Thank you for joining us today and welcome. Due to this meeting's virtual format, we will forego the introduction to visitors. We ask that any individual speaking with the commission on behalf of an institution to please state your full name and relation with the school. Next on the agenda are issues relating to non-degree granting institutions. Section A on the agenda is for institutions ordered to appear back before the commission. There are 3 institutions in the section. The first is Charles F. Chapman School of Seamanship, Stewart, number 122. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself.
And Commissioner, just for the record, Commissioner Marty has joined the meeting. So just for the record, she is here to vote.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioner Marty.
Morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm Jim Allen from Chapman School of Seamanship, the Executive Director.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us today.
Morning.
Commissioners, is there any discussion?
Perhaps you can give us a snapshot of your financial progress.
So compared to last year, we've increased our income by around $500,000 swing. So we're definitely doing a lot better this year.
Thank you. And how do you see your current prospects? What are next steps for you? What's your sense of challenges, risks?
Well, let's see. Well, right now we're looking really good this first quarter, and then going into the second quarter, we're way ahead of where we were last year. It looks like a very good year for us. Last year was just more, we had some infrastructure issues. That's where most of our cash went to, a seawall that was eroding, so we had to get that repaired.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any other questions, discussion? Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Hearing no further discussion, is there a motion to accept the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Next institution is Code Box Academy, St. Petersburg, number 9103. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you're here from the institution, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself?
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Jeff Calkins, and I'm the CEO of CodeBox.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
morning.
Good morning. My name is Brian Perret, and I am the Academy Director for CodeBox.
I'm
Thank
Nelson.
you. Go
I'm
ahead.
Nelson
I'm sorry.
Weinstein, Code Box. Hello?
Hi there. Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if you could hear me or not. Thank you.
I can. Just pausing to see if anybody else was joining. Thank you. Commissioners, any discussion in regards to Code Box Academy, please?
So, reviewing your, interviewing your financial progress report, would like your thoughts on how you're progressing according to your intentions, and if there are any further modifications or strategies that you plan to undertake in order to improve your financial situation.
I'll start with the response, and then the other gentlemen can jump in if they wish. Again, I'm going to ask if you can hear me because I can't really tell.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We've had some financial improvement this year based on increased enrollment, and we're continuing those efforts. We also have a new AI recently approved curriculum, which we're hoping to launch soon. We have marketing efforts out in that regard. Of significance is that we have been approved again and for a state appropriation grant from the state of Florida in an increased amount from last year. Last year we had received $250,000 during the fiscal year that started July 1st, 2023 and ended in 2024. For this year, we've been granted $350,000 for the fiscal year starting July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025. And of that amount, we've received roughly half of it, and that provides us with support financially, both for operations And a significant portion of it is for scholarships for students, which will increase our enrollment. So I think that would be my response to that. Jeff and Brian, if you want to jump in on anything.
This is Jeff Calkins. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I would, Nelson, I think has summarized it very well. I also just want to tell you that we're seeing strong pull for our workforce development programs and are working with institutional clients such as Urban League and the Institute for Veterans and Military Families, as well as private students. So between all three of those things, we feel very strongly about the outlook for 2025.
Thank you.
Any other questions, commissioners, comments? Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Hearing no further discussion, is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So move.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too. The next institution is Med Teach Academy, Pembroke Park, number 7683. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself?
There is no one on the line.
Thank you. Commissioners, is there any discussion on this institution? This is the institution I saw that there was good progress. They're actually moving they're moving in the right direction. Is there any public? Oh, go ahead.
Increase in assets, 9%. Current liabilities increased in the first period, but then decreased. Overall, it seems to be moving in a good direction. In the current ratio, there's a significant drop there, 80.52 to 35.03, and then to 51.94. So it's good progress.
Agree. Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thanks. Thank you. Hearing no further discussion, is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So move.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Section B on the agenda is applications for provisional licensure. There are 12 applications and they'll be taken individually. The first institution is BMT Healthcare Institute, Miami, number 13010. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself?
There is no one on the line.
Thank you. Commissioners, is there any discussion about BMT Healthcare Institute?
For questions, I was hoping to pose, but given that no one is on the line, I'm confident that these questions will be addressed and imposed by staff and the executive director in alignment with the recommendation.
I agree with that, those contingencies. Thank you. Anybody else? Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Madam Chair, could I have just one comment? Not that we have to strike contingency number 2, but just my view is I don't have concerns with number 2. because they're only enrolling 6 students per month and it's a 4-week course. I think there was a question on facilities, but given now if they're planning on growing, that's a different discussion next year or the next following year. But just wanted to make that comment.
Thank you. Snug, cozy, with 6 students and 631 square feet can work. Hearing no further discussion, is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. The next institution is CDL Technical and Motorcycle Driving School, Palea Gardens, number 13178. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself?
Good morning, Commissioners. Chris Giorgetti from Ferguson, Santoro, and Giorgetti. I'm here today with Ozzie and Tony Ponce, Ozzie Maiden, the owner and CEO, and Tony, the campus director of the campus. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves, please. I know they were trying to log in, so.
They appear to be on the line and they are unmuted.
Ozzie, Tony, can you hear us? I'm gonna tell them we can't hear them.
Sounds good. We will wait.
I apologize for this.
No worries.
Ok, preguntita super fast. Amanda me preguntó si ella puede trabajar la semana que viene de la casa.
¿Tú tienes algo que ver?
They just realized there's no microphone on the computer. They're getting on the phone right now. They're logging in. I apologize. I don't think they had a way to test it prior to.
Hello, can you guys hear me now?
There he is.
How you doing? Good
Yes,
morning.
we can.
Osvaldo Maitland, owner and CEO, CDL Technical Motorcycle Driving School. My mic is not working. My apologies.
And I'm Tony Ponce. I'm coordinator of the 2 schools at CDL Technical Motorcycle.
Welcome. Good morning. Glad you can join and get the technical difficulties resolved.
Thank you.
It happens. We all know.
Every once in a while, Commissioner.
It does. And you hope it doesn't. Commissioners, is there any discussion in regards to CDL Technical and Motorcycle Driving School? Any questions? I will ask, will you clarify, you're an existing group of schools, institution, and this is a new branch, is that correct? New location?
So, Commissioner, I'll take that one for them. They're an existing operation that was not under the CIE purview, and therefore they received a letter. We did the provisional license application for each of the locations separately, but they are connected together, obviously, with the same owner. So that while they are 2 different institutions from a CIE perspective, 13177 and 13178, they are indeed one ownership and one group of schools.
Perfect, thank you. And you have been in existence. As I looked at initially at the 547 students for year 1,
Yes,
I thought, wow.
yes.
And then I realized it's not year 1.
Correct. They've been doing this quite a while.
Thank you for clarifying.
Absolutely.
Say we do more than that.
Any other questions, commissioners? Any comments? Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Hearing no further discussion, is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
A move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Congratulations. Thank you. And I believe you're probably staying on for the next one. Is that correct?
That
Yes.
would be correct.
Sounds good. The next institution is CDL Technical Miami Homestead, number 13177. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, you're here. Welcome. And commissioners, is there any discussion in regards to this location?
I'd like to hear the
Commissioner,
schools.
would you like us to announce just for the record that we're here for this school?
Yes, yes, please. Thank you.
Sure. Chris Giorgetti, Ferguson, Santora, and Giorgetti. Ozzy, Tony, go ahead, please.
Osvaldo Mayton from CDL Technical Motorcycle Driving Institute, owner and CEO.
Tony Ponce, coordinator of CDL Technical Motorcycle School.
Thank you. Welcome again.
Thank you.
I'd like to hear the school's response to contingency 4 and make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of the challenge that is currently posed and just to get their feedback on it.
Sure, Commissioner. I'll take that one for them. Mr. Ferguson and I both met with Ozzy and Tony to discuss the name convention. When he initially started the institution, he started it that way, filed it. And obviously in reviewing the financials and looking at the student base, he's had no issue in recruiting students. As we reviewed the term, and I'm not sure that you have the narrative that was written. I hope that it was there for you to review. The term technical in and of itself denotes training. And with that, if the commission, wants the institution or believes that the institution rather should change the name or come up with a different naming convention, we're not opposed to that. But it is our belief that the term technical does insinuate training in and of itself by the very definition.
I just want to make sure that I understand the argument in the explanation that was provided. The argument here is that the Webster Dictionary definition is of or relating to a practical subject organized on scientific principles. And because Webster Dictionary uses as an example a technical school, showing it as an adjective, qualifying the noun school, you are concluding that education is implied in the term?
That is correct. That is the argument, and really not an argument. Just it's our interpretation of it. Again, if CIE has, if you believe as a group of commissioners that they would be better served to have a school or an academy attached to this or institute, there's no issue there at all. He has just had an established operation for many years, and adding that to it, while it doesn't really change a lot, hopefully for his business, and it may indeed enhance it. We just felt it was better to, number one, research that definition, and number two, leave it as is, because he is established under that name.
Understood. Yeah, though, I mean, looking at the argument provided here, it actually, I think, supports more explicitly the contingency insofar as in the example case use, it's used as a qualifier for the term school, as opposed to having such a meaning apart from the noun. If that, are you following what I'm suggesting?
I got muted. Sorry about that. Yes, no issue at all, Commissioner. No issue at all. I understand completely. And I know that Ozzie and I have spoken about this, and just adding a DBA and throwing that, institute or academy in there, whatever they decide upon, will be no issue at all.
Thank
we
you.
can get that done really
Yeah.
quickly through SunBiz and have that for the clerk to order.
Thank you, and congratulations on having such a large program and student base.
They've done very well down there.
I appreciate it, commissioners.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any other discussion or questions? Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Hearing no further discussion, is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you all so much. Congratulations.
Commissioners, I'd like to say thank you to Ms. Davis. She did a wonderful job going through both applications, and with the, with all the things that we went through here, this was a very, very good application, and the entire organization did very, very well with this. So I think all the truck driving schools that are receiving letters, if they do it the right way, there should be no issues with any of them getting licensed.
Thank you for that feedback. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. The next institution is Code Clarified Academy, Tallahassee, number 13116. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, will you raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself?
My name is Janine Mothershed. I'm the founder of Coding Clarified Academy, and I'm present.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Commissioners, is there any discussion about this institution? Did I read properly that this academy is Idaho-based? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And are you in other states as well? I didn't take a note on that, and I'm curious.
Yes, we are. We have licensure in 6 states and exemptions in others.
Thank you. Congratulations. That's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Any questions, comments, commissioners? Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Hearing no further discussion, is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So moved.
And a second from Commissioner Cross. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
The next institution is Commercial Driving School, LLC, Panama City, number 13100. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself?
Hey there, my name's Colin McMillan. I'm the co-founder of Commercial Driving School along with Cecil Jackson, who's here.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Cecil Jackson, the co-founder, co-owner, and the Chief Education Officer at Commercial Driving School.
Welcome. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, is there any discussion or questions in regards to Commercial Driving School LLC, Panama City? I'm hearing none, and your info is very clear of your plan, your financials, so I don't have any questions either. Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Hearing no further discussion, is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Hey, thank y'all for the opportunity.
Thank y'all. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you, you too.
You too.
The next institution is Dermaline Skincare and Academy, Sanford, number 13105. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself.
There is no one on the line.
Thank you. Commissioners, is there any discussion or questions in regards to this institution that you want to bring up? Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Hearing no further discussion, is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you. Commissioner Marty, will you take yourself off of mute so I can hear that you're in favor or opposing? Thank you so much. The next institution is Florida Career Training Center, Lauderhill, number 13088. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself?
Good morning, Angela Thomas Dupree, Associate for the Florida Career Training Center. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Anyone else joining you?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Commissioners, is there any discussion or questions in regards to this institution? Hearing none, is there any public comment on this matter? Director Hurst, if you're talking, I cannot hear you.
There is no public comment. Sorry, I did not unmute
That's
myself.
okay. Thank you. Hearing no further discussion, is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you and happy Thanksgiving to you all.
Thank you. You too.
No, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. The next institution is Messiah Epic Nursing Academy in Melbourne, number 13050. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself?
Hi, good morning. This is Dr. Arlette Peterson with Aquinas Network Consulting.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm sorry, Miss Rose Elafar is supposed to be joining us as well.
We will wait a moment then.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ma'am, can you raise your hand again? It looks like your hand went down, and so we're looking for you in the queue, but if you could raise your hand one more time, we'd appreciate it.
Of course. Oh.
Yes, good morning. My name is Rose Elifar, owner of Messiah Epic Nursing Academy.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Commissioners, is there any discussion or questions in regards to this institution?
I would love to just get a overall summary of the institution and how they plan on growing in their nursing programs.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Rose Elifar, owner of Messiah Epic Nursing Academy.
Can you give us just an overall description of your school, please?
Messiah Epic Nursing Academy has home health aides, discipline, phlebotomy, EKGs, and nursing assistant.
Are these all on-site programs? They're not online or hybrid, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner, Miss Elafar is in the health industry as well. I know one of the question is how does she plan on working on enrollments? She is in the industry and owns a home health aid service, so she is looking to also introduce her staff to enable them to do better and achieve better training.
And there's not any relation to Messiah University, is there? Or any affiliation?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I don't know if you're familiar. There is a Messiah University, which offers Doctor of Nursing.
Wow, I did not know about it. No.
Mm-hmm.
It's no relation.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yes.
Mm.
Yep.
One more question. I see the patient care technician is 915 clock hours. And if when I reviewed your info, it looks that you will have staggered class schedule to fit the 5 programs in the 2 classrooms in the 2,700 square feet, which is, in my opinion, small in that regard. What's the length of time for a student to complete the patient care technician program at 915 hours being staggered? How is that going to work?
Patient care technician, the classes, like for example, the nursing assistant program, it's like 4 to 6 weeks. So they all not gonna be at the same time. So I attach a schedule of the classes on the space utilization. So it's gonna run from about 9 months for the patient care technician. So it's gonna space out. Like in between, if I do have nursing assistant, it will space out like Monday and Wednesday for the nursing assistant. So patient care technician will be in between like evening class. I would try to do some evening class, put it in the evening. That way I have the space for each program. And not all the program gonna be at the same time, I think. Especially for EKGs and phlebotomies, it's not a lot of demand. So it's not all gonna be at the same time every month.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions or comments?
I'll just share that I have concerns that don't rise to the level of an objection about the amount of financial resources available and the scope of the proposed programs. Moreover, it seems that among the proposed programs, there's variability in terms of the degree of resources and the resource intensity of each of the proposed programs. So among them, it would seem that some might be more feasible with a modest kind of startup assets and capital, as opposed to others which would require greater investment in terms of lab setup and kind of clinical equipment. So I just wonder if you shouldn't consider staggering unfolding this in order to start with the programs that have the least overhead and can generate revenue through tuitions, allow that to kind of stabilize and form a broader asset and financial base, and expand to the others that require greater investment to start up and scale.
Yes, sir. So they all do, but I have those 5 programs because just to make it flexible.
So,
Right.
Commissioner, sorry.
Go ahead, please.
No, I can speak with, we could talk to Ms. Elafar. She and I can discuss this. And I see, we see your point in establishing the programs that will be less financially burdensome to start out with. And as she continues to grow, maybe add the ones that will require a more financial resources.
Yeah.
It's a great point.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussions? Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Hearing no further discussion, is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you,
you.
Commissioners.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, you too. The next institution is Pisco Salud Beleza Academy, Kissimmee 13045. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Edna Bonera, Fabrina Penaloprea consultant. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Good morning. Just pausing to see if anyone else is joining you.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Edna Bonera, Fabrina Penaloprea consultant.
Good morning.
Rina Laprea, owner, president of Psicosalud Belleza.
Thank you. Good morning. Commissioners, do you have any discussion or questions in regards to this institution? I'm not hearing anything. Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Hearing no further discussion or questions, is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. The next institution is Sage Truck Driving Schools, Jacksonville, number 13000. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here for the institution, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself?
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Beverly Van Valkenburg. I am the Vice President of CDL Operations with Sage Truck Driving Schools, and I'm joined today by Ms. Kara Pierce, our General Manager. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Hello,
Good
Tara
morning.
Pierce here, General Manager of Sage Truck Driving Schools.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Commissioners, is there any discussion or questions in regards to Sage Truck Driving Schools? Looks like you have 6 Florida locations. You're doing quite well. Congratulations.
Very much.
Thank you.
Any questions? Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you so much. Congratulations for your new location.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. And thank you, Chris DeSalvo, for all his support and guidance as well. And happy holidays all.
Thank you. Next institution is Sunshine Technical Institute, LLC, Hialeah, 13068. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself?
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Maria Lopez, owner of Sunshine Technical Institute. Thank you for having me here.
Good morning. Commissioners, any discussion or question in regards to this institution? I'll start. I read behavior technician, and thank you for the information that was provided in your application, because I was curious of that position. There is obviously accreditation, or not accreditation, certification in regards to this position. So I thought that was very interesting. I had not heard of this position or title before. So thank you for providing all of that.
My pleasure.
Any questions or comments? there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you, Ms. Lopez, so much. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, and you have a nice, happy Thanksgiving for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, you too. The next institution is TriMed Institute, Inc., Plantation, number 4097. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself.
There is no one on the line.
Thank you. Commissioners, any discussion? This is a denial. Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you so much. Should we continue or take a 10-minute break?
If we could take a quick 10-minute break, we would appreciate it.
Wonderful. We will be back then at 10:10. Thank you all so much. And everybody, please mute your microphone.
Good morning, Commissioners. We have returned from break, so I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you. Good morning. Section C is on the agenda, which is applications for annual license. Note number 2, item number 2 on this section is relinquished their license and will be removed from consideration. The remaining 7 applications will be taken individually. First institution is Advanced Dental Academy of Treasure Coast, Port St. Lucie, number 12515. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself.
This is Debbie Binkley. I am a paralegal with GMAX, and we are a consulting firm with Advanced Dental Academy of Treasure Coast. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone joining you?
Michelle Linehan Martin from the school should be joining me also.
Perfect. We will wait then. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michelle Lenahan Martin. I'm the student liaison and school administrator.
Good morning. Commissioners,
Good morning.
is there any?
Thanks for having us.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Commissioners, is there any discussion or questions to this institution?
I would love just to hear how they are doing on their enrollment and financial situation. I believe they're on an improvement plan.
I can speak to the financial part of it, and Michelle can speak to the other question you had. The financial, basically, Dr. Pichardo has had to make expenditures to pay for accounting fees and licensing fees and consulting fees, which is why her equity went down. But she's working very hard to get the school going, and enrollments are up, and Michelle can speak to that.
Okay, great.
Yes. So this year we've got currently 6 students right now. We go out to the local high schools and we talk to the up and coming senior graduates, tell them about our program. But like I said, we have 6 students currently enrolled right now. I have some more prospective students that I talk to, and then I set up meetings, and then I have them come in and tour the facility and go over the whole program and curriculum with them. We've had a lot of great response, and looking forward to getting a lot more students and really building the school up.
That's great. And so as of now, you just have the entry level dental assisting court program?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chair, I'm sorry, I have a question for Director Hurst. In our staff comments, it mentions the institution became licensed March 6, 2024. So I'm just curious, why are they up for application for annual license on this date instead of a year out from March 2024, or is that a mistake?
One moment, let me look in their file in the database.
I can speak to that a little bit. The school got a notice that they were approved back in July of 2023. but their actual provisional license didn't come to them until March 6th of 2024. And in the meantime, they had been ordered to file for their annual application 120 days before the July 2024 date. So it was rather confusing date-wise. So that may be why we applied for the annual license.
Yes, thank you for that. So this institution did receive their clerk's order for their first provisional back in September of 2023. It just took a little while for the contingencies to be fulfilled and for them to receive their first annual. So the date that you see there is the date that they actually received the license, but we go from the date that they appeared at the commission meeting last. So this will be their annual cycle. So they will stay on this cycle.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I don't have any further questions, Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the commissioners? Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Commissioner Marty, will you go off mute, please? Thank you.
I'm coughing very much. That's what I keep taking it off.
Will you confirm that you're in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, you too. Next institution is D Empire Academy for Healthcare Education, West Palm Beach, number 6253. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself?
There is no one on the line.
Thank you. Any discussion or questions to bring up, commissioners? Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. The next institution is Emerge Career Education, Tampa, number 9112. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself.
Good morning, Commissioners. Karen Levy, President and CEO of McDonald Training Center, and I have my team members here with me.
Good morning, it's Judith Estacio, I'm the CFO. I'm Sharon Foster, I am the school administrator for Emerge.
And I'm Christine Nemore, I'm the Director of Education and Behavioral Services. I'm a board certified behavior analyst.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Yes, thank you.
Commissioners, is there any discussion or questions? I'll just state I love your mission to help those with disabilities and find careers. It's inspiring. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'll give you a moment to see if there's any questions from the commissioners. Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
The next institution is Key West Beauty Academy, Key West, number 7603. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself?
Hi, good morning. My name is Tina Adkins, and I'm the director of Key West Beauty Academy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Commissioners, is there any discussion on this institution? I'll ask one. What is your student, because I may have missed it, I didn't see it in here and I took a note. What is your current student population?
7.
Okay. So are you seeing, because the data we have here is from 22 to 23, you had 4 students enrolled. So tell us, is obviously the school is growing. Tell us what's happening.
The first year we had 4 students. They all graduated and they're all currently employed. That was in from 21 to 22. From 22 to 23, we had 4. I'm sorry, we had 5. We had 1 drop out when we had 4 graduate. 3 are employed and they just graduated this year because it takes 18 months. So from 22 to, wait a minute. Okay, so from 20, in the year 2023, we had 4 enrollments and then they graduated this year. And they are, 3 of them are employed. 1 still hasn't even taken his test. He's got another job. Then we've had this last current enrollment was in 23 of August. And then we had another enrollment in 24 of May. So that would be 3 was the August. Then 2 are from the May of 24. And then we have, so that's, no, that was 4. So we've had 1 take a leave of absence. We had 4 in August, I'm sorry, of last year. Of this year, 4 in August of this year. And then
Good to see your growth.
I'm so sorry. I don't have it written in front of me. I have 7 total. 1 just joined this last August. And so that makes 7. I'm so sorry. I don't have it written down in front of me. I'm trying to go by memory right now.
No worries. But what I'm hearing
yeah.
is there's growth, which is good to see.
Yes, it's growth. The problem is that we don't have financial aid and we live in Key West. So the rent, that's why I have to do a part-time school. The part-time school is Sundays and Mondays and Tuesday evenings, so that way they can all work at the same time and afford to pay for, I broke it down into 18 months of a payment plan at $1,000 a month for them. So they can afford to go. That's my financial, that's the way that I offer financial assistance, interest-free. It's just getting them to be able to work and still afford to live. It's very expensive here. Next, we're doing the GI Bill. So after I get approved for annual, I'm allowed to apply to accept the GI Bill, which there's a lot of military down here. So we've got a financial growth plan. I've also opened up a 501c3 so that I can start applying for grants. And I'm doing everything I can to assist them in trying to figure out how to afford all these accounting fees, which really threw me for a loop. I didn't realize how much accountants charge to do audits. And so, yeah, it's been a challenge as far as that goes. So we're definitely getting the whole hang of this whole thing. It's taken me a little while to figure out how to get them all to afford to do it and for me to afford to keep this place open at the same time, you know, with the fees and everything. But this year it looks like we're really, you know, figuring out how to get this place to grow, because now I can add more. I'm going to add, hopefully when I get approved today, if I get approved, we're going to add a separate nail program and a separate facial program. So we've got a lot going on.
Thank you. Commissioners, any other questions or discussions? Any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Congratulations. We look
Thank
forward to
you,
seeing
Abby.
you in the coming months.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you all and have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye. The next institution is Onyx Nail Academy, LLC, Jacksonville, number 10151. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here for the institution, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Raquel, CEO of Onyx Nail Academy. How are you today?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, discussion or questions in regards to staff recommendations for Onyx Nail Academy?
Chair, I would just like to hear the owner's response on all of the contingencies that have not been met.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, the contingencies, I don't know if you guys can see me or not, but the contingencies, please forgive me, I did respond to the contingencies by the due date and by the time, I don't know if you can see this or not. This is just a screenshot of the email that I sent to then before I had one case manager, name was Monica Brooks, and then I got another case manager by the name of Charity. So in the first time, it was everything was all approved. I even went down to the meeting, and then they postponed it. So when they postponed the meeting, I came back, and then I learned that I had a new case program specialist, and then there were contingencies on this exact same application. So I said, okay, well, let's see what they are. We did. I tried to follow all of the procedures. And then if you can see, she asked for them to be, everything to be due in by October the 2nd, from October the 1st to October the 2nd. I responded and gave and sent the PDFs as she requested to her at that time. She indicated that she hadn't received those contingencies, and I continued to send them to her. I even offered to mail them to her if it was a problem in the system.
We honestly, we cannot see what you have in your hand. I can hear it, but we cannot see it.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. We do
I
have the
was just
note.
showing you. Yes, ma'am. I was just showing you a screenshot of the email that I sent to her, the emails that she requested, which were the PDF forms for the contingencies. And I wanted to prove to you that they were addressed. And I was hoping that you would be able to see me or see it, that I did respond and they were addressed at that time. So when I received my site visit, the gentleman was asking me for certain things, and I was able to furnish them for him while he was here on site because they were already completed and done. And I did the best that I could with trying to address the contingencies when she requested them.
So how many of the 13 contingencies do you think you've fulfilled?
I feel like I completed all of them.
So Director Hurst, do we have a confirmation or is there any updates that we're not seeing or?
I have a letter here. I'm sorry, sir, if I could. I have a letter here of compliance.
So what it appears is that we sent out a deficiency letter in April of 2024 that had information or requested materials from the institution on it. We did receive a response to that deficiency letter, but the response was not sufficient to remove these contingencies or to address them at that time. We're looking through it again. I still don't see the documents that would be responsive to these particular 13 items that needed to be addressed. This institution has been licensed since, or was issued a provisional license November of 2022. So they're at the end of that 2-year term. They can have the provisional for 1 year and then an extension for another year. So since this is their first annual, they're at that end of their term where a decision does need to be made on this particular institution. But what we are looking at right now does not appear that we received the documents that would be sufficient to achieve or be sufficient to make these conditions be resolved at this moment.
Ma'am, I just want to clarify that I want to make sure that you understand the distinction here between responding to a contingency and addressing the contingency. So responding, is a necessary but not sufficient condition. They must be adequately addressed according to statute and rule in order for them to be counted as addressed. So if just by responding, it's not sufficient, it needs to be a response that adequately meets the statutes and rules. And I think that that's what's happening here. You're saying that you've responded, and we're not disputing that, and that isn't really in discussion. It's that whatever you have responded still has not satisfied the requirements of statute and rule, and there remains an extensive and outstanding list of contingency that have not been properly fulfilled.
Yes, sir. I responded, but I also, whatever documentation she requested from me, she was saying that it was that I had to address certain items. I pointed out those certain items. So what I showed you was the emails, but in response to those items, when she did break down exactly what was needed, I actually did do that. As a matter of fact, when I had a site visit on the 14th, the gentleman said there was only one thing that was missing, and that was a misunderstanding on my behalf, which was a certification for the educational, another part of the educational piece. And I did that, fulfilled that, and in response to that, from a Miss Dickerson, from a Miss Dixon, she gave me a compliance letter indicating that I had completed and fulfilled the obligations.
Commissioners, if I may, a deficiency found on an on-site visit is a distinct matter entirely from any deficiencies or the question of the sufficiency of an application for licensure.
Mm-hmm.
The recommendations before you do not allege any outstanding deficiencies from an on-site visit.
And as an example, just to kind of clarify, when we talk about responding to a letter of deficiency versus what is sufficient to actually make those deficiencies complete or to satisfy those deficiencies, one of the deficiencies is the number 4, the failure to submit a financial statement prepared in accordance with GAAP by a CPA. We received a letter of engagement, but we did not receive the actual financial documents from a CPA.
So that letter, I've sent that several times with Miss Monica Brooks, as well as Miss Charity Davis, and it was a complete financial statement from the CPA along with her credentials.
Commissioners, we are looking at the file and we have a letter of engagement.
Unless it was my misunderstanding of what a letter of engagement was, as opposed to a letter, the actual financial statement. It was like so many pages in terms of the actual financial statements. There was a lot of pages that Miss Karen Robinson, who was the CPA, provided. It was an extensive thing that she had to do that I sent in.
And commissioners, and for the institution as well, if the staff recommendations are adopted, this institution does have the right and the ability to appeal the decision, and they can at that point request an informal hearing and provide all of the documents that they have stated that they have sent that were sufficient to satisfy these contingencies and move in that direction.
Thank you.
I'll say for my part, I have not heard anything that in any way persuades me to not support staff recommendation. In fact, everything I've heard actually resoundingly supports staff recommendation and reinforces it. I think the comments made thus far are largely in the service of communicating understanding. Which I think is an important kind of factor to this exchange. So I have no further questions.
Any other questions, discussion from the commissioners, the remaining? Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you all. The next institution is Pristine Beauty Academy, Orlando, number 11465. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself.
Good morning, commissioners. I am Tamara Petrushkova, the director of Pristine Beauty Academy here in Orlando, and I'm joined by
Inga Lozda. I'm the administrator of Pristine Beauty Academy.
How are you?
Hi there. Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any questions or discussions in regards to Pristine Beauty Academy?
Yeah, Chair, I just had a quick question. I didn't see how many students that you had enrolled. I don't see that in the documents. Oh, I'm sorry. I do see it now. It says 2 students enrolled. Is that in 11 graduates?
Correct. And currently we actually increased our enrollment. So we have 7 students in total as of right now, as of today.
Awesome.
What's your frequency of starts? How often do you have a start with students?
So currently our enrollment just finished. We started in November 18 was our enrollment. We do, sometimes we do let some students enroll at the right time if we finished with multiple chapters, and then they can finish it up with a new enrollment. I'm sorry?
So based on your current scheduled plan, you had a November start. When would your next start be? Is it sometime in the spring or is it rolling?
It is rolling. It is rolling. So we can, if the students come over and we see that we are in the right chapters, they can enroll, continue with the current students, but then they will have to finish it up with the new group.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion, commissioners? Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Marty, will you go off to confirm, please? Thank you. Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, you too. The next institution is the Art of Skin Institute of Aesthetics, Panama City, 12946. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself.
Good morning, I'm Stephanie. I'm the owner and founder of the Art of Skin Institute of Aesthetics.
Good morning, commissioners. This is Mark Murray, legal counsel for the Art of Skin Institute of Aesthetics.
Thank you. Good morning. Commissioners, any discussion or questions to this institution? I'll start. Will you give us an update in regards to your financial improvement plan? How are you looking for 2024 from a financial standpoint?
Oh, certainly. So we have been wildly successful, in my opinion, for just starting back in April. That's when we took our first students. Now I've ended with $135,000 today with zero liabilities.
So the net loss in December 2023 was before you enrolled students. Understood.
Correct.
Thank
Correct.
you. That clarifies right there. Any other questions or comments, Commissioner? Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
Thank you. Section D is provisional to annual. There are no items in this section. Section E is application for extension for annual license. There are no items in the section. Section F is applications for annual renewal. There are 33 items in the section. Is there a motion to consider these applications by consent?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to take this section by consent passes. I will now ask each commissioner whether there are any items they would like to pull. Commissioner Cross?
Item number 5.
Thank you. Commissioner Marty?
No.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Stefano?
Could you return to me?
Absolutely. Commissioner Whitaker?
Let's see, I think number 5. I have no additional.
Director Hurst, any staff wish to recommend pulling?
Number 4 and number 5.
Perfect. Commissioner Stefano, any others?
None others. I have here 4 and 5 marks as well.
Perfect, and I don't have any others as well. Are there any, hang on. Are there any representatives from the schools or any members of the public who would like to comment on any schools not pulled?
There is no comment.
There a motion to accept staff recommendations on items?
Sorry, Commissioner, one moment. It does look like someone raised their hand.
Perfect.
Miss Jean, are you wishing to speak on a school? Miss Jean, I believe you're unmuted. Do you wish to speak on a school that was not pulled? There's no response.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept staff recommendations on items 1 through 3 and 6 through 33?
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes and staff recommendations are accepted for those institutions. Moving to those that have been pulled. Number 4, Bartram Dental School, Dental Assisting School, St. John, number 5163. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, will you please please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Dr. Jason Lewis, and I'm the school director for Bartram Dental Assisting School.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hi, anyone else joining you?
I'm sorry, I'm the lone representative.
Perfect, wonderful. Thank you. Commissioners, discussion or comments, please, or questions?
Perhaps Director Hurst could provide some context.
I will be happy to. So I believe we received an email from Dr. Lewis regarding concerns with the contingency number 2, which is the submission of the financial statement of the controlling principal. So I wanted to address any concerns that he had with that contingency in this meeting.
Should I go ahead and respond, or should I wait for a question to be asked?
I'll ask the question. Dr. Lewis, did you have any concerns with contingency number 2? And if you did, what are those concerns?
Yes, so we've been in financial good standing for the existence of the dental assistant school since 2017. And we had 1 year in 2023 that had a slower acceptance rate with our school. We didn't have as many students. Partly due to that was we were not doing any kind of marketing, just because previously we did not have to. After this year, we realized that we did have to look into doing some marketing with our website, doing some internet, some search engine optimization, SEO. Since that year, in fact, this year has been almost one of our best years. Currently, if we consider the rolling 12 months from November of last year to this year, we've had 91 applicants. We've had 60 that were interviewed. We had 43 that we did background checks on. In our winter term, which actually now, instead of doing 3 terms a year, in 2024, we started to do just 2, just to see how that went, since we did not have a full class for the 3 terms we had in previous years. It's been very successful. We had 12 students in our winter term, and then in our fall term we had 16. So we're back up to the 25 to 30 students that we're used to having per year. So as far as our financials, when I sent the email back in September, our revenue was just under 150,000, and since then it has gone up as well. So I was asking if we could asking for a one-time exemption from submitting a financial review, because the controlling principal is actually Bartram Dental Assisting School LLC, which I'm the only partner in. So essentially, we would be doing a financial review of my personal. I'm assuming that's what would be done is I'd have to do a personal review of my assets, which I don't feel is necessary, just because we've had good history, good standing, and we're back on track as far as where we were before. Sorry for the long-winded response.
Commissioners, would you like me to address?
Please.
So first of all, thank you, Dr. Lewis, for the explanation for that. We do recognize that your institution has had several years where it made above $100,000, and per our rule, that would allow for the audit and review of the actual institution itself. Our rules are very specific when it comes to an institution earning less than $100,000 gross tuition revenue per the institution's fiscal year. And so the fiscal year that we're looking at, the institution was under that $100,000 threshold. And the rule states that the institution shall provide both a financial statement of the institution and of the controlling principals. You are correct that if you are the sole controlling principal, that would be your personal financials. Those can be compiled, reviewed, or audited by a CPA. So the compilation is a little bit lower of a cost to do those. That is for the purpose of ensuring student protection. The financials that came before us also do have let me pull it real quick so I can say it correctly. The net income was negative by $25,917. When we do these controlling principles, that's ensuring that the institution and other entities would have the sufficient resources in order to protect these students in case of a school closure or where you're in a cash crunch.
So if instead of doing a financial review or compilation of my personal assets, would doing a financial compilation of 2024 year to date be sufficient?
So, and let me just make sure that I'm understanding you correctly. You still earn less than 100,000, correct? Is that we're talking about that one?
Did not this year. We are over 150,000 for 2024.
So this one is based on your 2023 numbers. So
Correct.
That is the one. Yes. So when you get to what that means is when you get to your next one, which will be your November of 2025, when you come in front of the commission again for your annual license, because you have gross tuition over the 150,000, then you will fall under, it is section 6E-2.0046A. I'm sorry, 6B1. And that says that licensed non-degree schools shall provide annually a review or audit. So the compilation is not accepted when you're over 150,000, but if you're under 100,000 for the year, then you can do a compilation of both the actual financial institution and your controlling principles.
Okay. So really, you're just requesting of the controlling principal.
Yes, for this year, your contingency, well, you have two contingencies, but the second contingency is your controlling principal, the financials for your controlling principal.
Which would be just so I understand, the personal assets.
Yes, that would be your personal assets.
Okay.
If you're the only controlling principal. Just want to clarify that. Yes.
Okay. And then also on I do have a question about number one as well, just because I did send which is easy to send. When I sent all my information in, I did send a updated faculty listing form, but that's I can just resend that. So that's not a problem.
Yes, please. It may that we just didn't get to it since we do go ahead and put these agendas together earlier than the meetings. It just may
Sure.
have not made it through that process yet. But yes, if you would please just resubmit it, we would greatly appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, discussion, commissioners? Is there any public comment on this matter? Director
There is
Hurst,
no
is there any
public
public
comment at this
comment?
time.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you so much for this discussion.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Congratulations. Thank you, you too. The next institution is Beacon Hill Career Training, Fort Lauderdale, number 5636. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself.
I do believe we have an
Good
institution.
morning, commissioners. My name is Rosalind. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, commissioners. My name is Lunice Jean from Beacon Hill Career Training. And I
Good
have
morning,
Kathleen Jean with me. Kathleen, if you can please introduce yourself.
Good morning, Commissioner. My name is Kathleen Jean.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Director Hurst, will you provide details in regards to this staff recommendations and submission, please?
Yes, so staff is recommending finding that the institution failed to be in full compliance to hold an annual license. We are recommending order to cease enrollment and conduct an orderly closure. This institution submitted an annual license application on July 31st of 2024. A deficiency letter was emailed to the school on August 28th of 2024, and the institution did not respond to the letter.
Thank you. Ms. Jean, would you like to reply to that or provide any other feedback for us? We see that there are 14 documents missing or 14 contingencies in regards to the staff recommendation.
Yes, I do have the contingencies for back in July when we received the contingencies. I spoke to Mr. DeSalvo in reference to the contingencies, and I did explain to him that the institution was waiting for the financial compilation audit to be done. It still we have not received it, but we have not enrolled any students since January of 2023. And when we received the final letter that was issued on, I forgot what date that I received this email, we were already not registering students. So we just accept what the commission sent to us. So we are in the process of going through, because we were not enrolling students, the cease and desist was fine, and we've already started the process of the closure. And I don't know if the commission will be sending us instructions of what it is that we need to do.
So to speak to that, thank you for that explanation. What occurs is if the commissions accept the staff recommendation to deny and order the institution to conduct an orderly closure, you'll receive a clerk to order that says as much. Then you will also receive an email from us with instructions on how to conduct that orderly closure. There's a checklist involved that we can help you with that you can kind of go through to, if you have, did you say you didn't have any students currently enrolled?
We haven't not enrolled students since January 2023.
Okay. So
For the past 2 years, we have not enrolled students.
Thank you. So your closure of your institution will be a little bit more simple because you won't have the teach out portion of this to comply with. Well, we will still ask for certain documents like all of your student records for all past students. But we will be happy to send you that information, and then we will work with you as you close your institution.
Okay, I will wait for that letter in the email and then also the mail correspondence.
Quite frankly, it would be easier, Ms. Jean, if you went ahead and emailed this commission a notice of voluntary relinquishment of license. We'll still process the clerked order, but there's no need for you to wait to receive that. We can expedite an orderly closure once we receive that email.
Okay, so I can just send an email to, who would I be sending it to Mr. DeSalvo or Ms. Brianna? Because I've got an email from both of them.
Yes, you can send it to Mr. DeSalvo.
Okay. I will do so today.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful, safe holiday.
Thank you.
Me too.
Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So moved.
Second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you very much. There is one item in section G on the application for license by means of accreditation. Genesis Vocational Institute Corp., Miami, number 3805. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself?
There is no one on the line.
Thank you. Any comments, questions, anything to discuss, commissioners? Any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Their motion to accept staff recommendation?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Section H on the annual review of license by means of accreditation. There are 15 items in this section. Is there a motion to consider these applications by consent?
So move.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion to take this section by consent passes. I will now ask each commissioner whether there are any items that you want to pull. Commissioner Cross, any items you would like to pull?
There are none.
Thank you. Commissioner Marty, any items you'd like to pull?
Nope.
Commissioner Stefano?
None at this time.
Thank you. Commissioner Whitaker?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Director Hurst, the staff wish to recommend pulling any items?
None, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any representatives from the schools or any members of the public who would like to comment on any schools, which are all 15, that are not pulled in this section?
There is no comment.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept staff recommendations on items 1 through 15?
Sorry, Commissioner. There was one last minute hand.
Okay.
Oh, hold on just one second.
Sounds good.
Miss Whitcomb, is that correct? Can you tell me what school that you're... Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Can you tell me what school that you're referencing?
Pets Playground Grooming School.
Okay, give me just a second. Let me find you. 13, and you would like to discuss your school with the commission?
I wanted to make sure I understood the staff recommendation. I think because we're under review for a renewal of our accreditation. So is the license renewal on hold until the renewal is finalized, or does the license renewal happen now?
It happens now.
Okay. All right. Good.
Any additional questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, and yes, sir, if you will actually, when you do, I know it takes a little while to go through your accreditation process sometimes. If you will keep us updated on that, and please send us the documents when they have renewed you, we would greatly appreciate it.
Will do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept staff's recommendations on items 1 through 15?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes and staff recommendations are accepted for all 15 institutions. We will not have any pulled. Section I on the agenda is application for program approvals and modifications. There are 5 in this section. Is there a motion to consider the applications by consent?
So
So
move.
move.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion to take this section by consent passes. I will now ask each commissioner whether there are any items that you want to pull. Commissioner Cross, any items you'd like to pull?
I don't think so, no.
Commissioner Marty?
No.
Thank you. Commissioner Stefano?
None at this time?
Thank you. Commissioner Whitaker?
I do not, thank you.
I don't either. Director Hers, does staff wish to pull any items?
None, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any representatives from the schools or any members of the public who would like to comment on any schools not pulled?
I was given it an extra 30 seconds just in case there was another hand. I do not see any hands, so there is no comment.
Okay, is there a motion to accept staff's recommendations on items 1 through 5?
So move.
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes and staff recommendations are accepted for all 5 institutions. Section J on the agenda is extension of provisional license for 1 year. There are 2 items in the section. Is there a motion to consider the applications by consent?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to take this section by consent passes. I'll now ask each of you whether there are any items you'd like to pull. Commissioner Cross, any items you want to pull?
No, there are not.
Commissioner Marty?
No.
Thank you. Commissioner Stefano?
Not at this time?
Thank you. Commissioner Whitaker?
I do not, thank you.
I don't either. Director Hurst, does staff want to pull either of these 2 institutions?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any representatives from the schools or any members of the public who would like to comment on either of these 2 schools not pulled?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept staff's recommendations on items 1 and 2?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes and staff recommendations are accepted for those 2 institutions. Section K on the agenda is motion for extension of license. There are 9 items in this section. Is there a motion to consider these applications by consent?
So move.
Can I hear a second?
Yes.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to take this section by consent passes. I will now ask each commissioner whether there are any items to pull. Commissioner Cross, any items to pull?
None.
Thank you. Commissioner Marty?
Nope.
Commissioner Stefano?
None, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Whitaker?
No, thank you.
I do not either. Director Hurst, does staff wish to pull any of these items?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any representatives from the schools or any members of the public who would like to comment on any of the 9 schools not pulled?
There is no public comment.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept staff's recommendations on items 1 through 9?
So moved.
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes and staff recommendations are accepted for those 9 institutions. Section L on the agenda is request for extension of time to comply with contingencies. There are 4 items in this section. Is there a motion to consider these applications by consent?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion to take this section by consent passes. I'll now ask each commissioner whether there are any items you would like to pull. Commissioner Cross, any items you would like to pull?
I do not.
Thank you. Commissioner Marty?
No.
Commissioner Stefano?
Number 4.
Thank you. Commissioner Whitaker?
I just had number 4 as well.
And I did too as well. No others. Director Hurst, does staff wish to pull any others besides number 4?
No additional.
Thank you. Are there any representatives from schools or the public, members of the public who would like to comment on any schools not pulled?
No public comment.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept staff's recommendations on items 1, 2, and 3?
So moved.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes and staff recommendations are accepted for those institutions. Moving to the one that is pulled, institution is North Broward Technical Center, Incorporated, Deerfield Beach, number 4398. Staff recommendations have been provided. If the school is with us, will you please raise your digital hand, unmute yourself, and introduce yourself?
I believe we have the institution on the line, but they need to unmute themselves.
Can you hear me, commissioners?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Will you please introduce yourself?
My name is Harad. I'm a CEO of North Broward Technical Center.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Director Hurst, will you provide some information for us here, please?
Yes, I can. So this staff recommendation is a denial of the extension of time to comply with through January 28th of 2024 and find that the applicant failed to meet the conditions of the June 27th, 2024 order by this commission for failing to submit the submission of current executed clinical affiliation agreements for the PN program, submission of the clinical affiliation matrix, submission of the final financial audit that ended December 31st of 2023, submission of the documents related to their CPA, and submission of their updated catalog with modifications.
Would the institution care to respond to this denial and items that have not been provided? Give us any context, please. Mr. LaFrance, do you have a response?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I can proceed. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay. Again, I apologize for all this I've been caused. Frustration to everyone. This is not what we are. We've been with the CIE. We opened the school since 2011. And if you look at my records, when we have on-site visit, we always have 100% compliance. For some reason, since we lost the accreditations, we withdraw from the RN program. We will still have the LPN. Technically, what happened is there's a lot of things going on last year and year before with family issues, and I have not been responding on time to Mr. Sori. And at the beginning, there was a little bit detachment from Mrs. Suri. We kept sending email after email. No one ever responding back to us. We feel like we were neglected. We always have a good communication with the staff at the CIE, from Miss Monica going to Sarah, go to Miss Angela. We never have any problem with them. But what happened is, after we lost the accreditation, and plus there was a lot of family issues was going on. But I did receive the letters, the staff, the clock order to comply to send the audit. The CPA we had in the past is no longer with us. I was in the process looking for CPA, and every time I find someone, it was different issues, and also affiliation agreements with the different venues. They keep give us running around every time we call. Sometimes I drove myself there to see who will renew those agreements for us. They keep giving us running around. You know how hard it is for a small school these days to get an agreement signed in by a clinical site. I remember when we first started, I used to have like 11 clinical sites where we used to take our students. Right now, we only have maybe one or two who agree to sign off with us. So it's been so much going on. That's why we kind of late on everything. Everything you've been asking for, we kind of, because I was waiting to get all the documents. As far as the catalog, it is done. It's been sitting there. It's finished. But I didn't want to send just the catalog. I was waiting for the other document to submit all of them together. But, in my part, it's my fault. I should have, whatever I had, I should have just communicated with Victor, let him know, okay, so far, this is what I have. Can I go ahead and send that to you? So for the entire year, and a nursing program, the RN program, they all graduated, they all finished since October 2022 after we did the teach out, because we were told by ABDAS to go ahead, the accreditation to go ahead, graduate everyone. Technically, we were scheduled to finish with everyone by June of 2023. But we were told by the accreditor to go ahead, finish with everyone, regardless they finish or not. They want everybody to be done. So they finished by October 23. We will still have a few students for the LPN at that time. So again, those LPN, they finish since last year. We kept the school open, but we didn't have any students that time. We were paying rent. We're talking about, $6,000 we're paying for over a year. I feel like, where would I go? So that's why I pick up the phone and I called Mr. Suri and I explained to him the situation that we're going through, what exactly he wants me to do. He advised me to go ahead, apply, send a letter to explain and apply for an extension. Even after I spoke with him, we will still have issues there. Things has not come in as we wanted to come in. I've been going to the clinical site, drive there myself several times, and we still didn't receive any volunteer, to say, okay, I will go ahead sign that for you. So that's when I called him. I explained that to him, what we've been going on. He advised me what to do, which I was still reluctant to send that letter that he asked me to, until a young lady, Ariel, called me again. I explained that to her again. I say, I spoke with Victor 2 weeks ago. I explained a situation we're going through to the school right now. And paying rent for over a year ago, and we don't have any student, we don't have no activity going on. So she said, go ahead, send the letter, just put the dates in there. If you didn't get everything we asked you for, you can again let us know. we will work with you. That's when I decided to say, okay, I send that letter as she requested, same day. Now, and again, one of the reasons why we left the door open for our students, because we've been receiving calls every day, emails every day, asking us for reference, transcript. I feel like I don't want to just close on them to, I feel like I abandoned them, you know, especially a student we've been with for so many years. I feel bad. I just, sometimes you don't know what you do. You just stand there, you don't know which way to go. So again, what's really, really bothering me, you have so many students who make so many progress. I have students who become, at least when I check the email, the letters, the invitation we've been getting from them, we have at least 12 students who become nurse practitioners. We have students who have a higher degree. We have students who working everywhere, getting get a job at the VA hospital, ICU, emergency room. I feel bad. I really feel bad, and I'm sorry to cause all this language problem because that's not what we are. But here I am. Yesterday, I even sent a letter to Mr. Victor to ask him, even you guys decided to not to approve me to continue that program, I'm asking a favor if you can allow me at least to continue keep communication with those students in case that they need something from us. We're not gonna teach or do any clinical or any lecture, anything like that. Just to, I have a house where I can set up an office there. We planning to keep the same phone number so we can help them in case they need something. That's all I'm asking for. And again, I don't know how much I would say. I'm sorry for all this problem that I cause.
Thank you. Director Hurst, any follow-up in that regard?
It did sound like, and I just want to clarify, it did sound like you were stating that there have been no students in this PN program since 2023. Is that correct?
That is correct. When they finished in 23, the PNs, we had maybe 8 or 9 who graduated, but some of them, they were still in the limbo. Either they owe some money or they didn't take the final exam, the exit exam. That's why some of them did not take the boards right away. Again, I know it's not good for them. More they stay out of the books, they're gonna forget most of the information. But we still have we have like 7 applications, so we can even answer them to say yes, they will be accepted or not, because we don't have the actual agreement for them to do the hands-on. I don't think it's right to them to accept them where they cannot participate in clinical or doing other things that we will love them to do.
Thank you for that. So, Commissioners, our staff recommendation would stay as currently written. We did receive a letter from the institution yesterday, I believe it was, that was requesting a location change. That location change is to the individual's residence. That wasn't a formal application, that was just a letter. We do still stand by the staff recommendation as currently written. The institution can close down, they can always reapply as a new institution once they work through these issues with their clinical affiliation agreements.
Thank you.
Question, if I may ask a question to Director Hurst. If the institution at this time were to voluntarily relinquish this license and transfer all records to CIE, could you describe the sort of services that could be provided to students who need transcripts or information?
Absolutely. So the way that this works is when an institution is closed down, we ask that if you are not using a transcript service provider, that those all student records are provided to CIE. That allows us to actually sufficiently ensure that those records are stored appropriately and that they can be provided to students in the future. The institution is still welcome to assist those students, and we would ask them to do that. If the students are requesting their records, the institution is happy. We are more than welcome to fulfill those requests to the students, but we still do require those records to come to CIE as well.
I just wonder if maybe that might address your concerns where you could do right by students and CIE could help with that by providing transcripts or records as they need. But that would require the formal closure and transfer of records, and that would ensure that you do have an orderly closure, which would leave open the possibility for you to have a school in the future, and you would have to reinitiate the application process, but it would still leave that possibility open. I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
You're referring that question to Mr. LaFrance, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. What was your questions again, sir?
Okay, so I was suggesting that it's evident that you care about students and that you want to continue providing them with services, and that one of the services that you continue to provide them is giving them access to their records or transcripts whenever requested, and that's an important service. And I was suggesting that one of the things that CIE can do to help with this is that if you were to voluntarily relinquish your license and conduct an orderly closure and transfer your records to CIE, then CIE could be a kind of a central processing hub for all those student record requests and transcript requests, and ensuring that those students are taken care of. Moreover, if you were to do that, it would, well, let me put it like this: if you were to have an orderly closure, that would leave open the possibility of you applying in the future for an institution, and programs in the state of Florida. And so I just think that this is an option that you might consider, and I wanted to suggest that to you and to get your thoughts.
I don't think I will have any comment on that. Yeah, I will be happy to voluntarily relinquish the license.
So, Commissioners, we would still ask that you vote on the action item, and then the gentleman is welcome to send an email to Victor speaking to the relinquishment of the license.
Thank you.
I also just want to make one observation to supplement the comments offered by Dr. Stefano, that while certainly there will be a possibility for Mr. LaFrance to apply in future to open a new school, the history of North Broward Technical Center and its outcome would be one factor among many considered by this commission in determining how to dispose of that application.
Thank you. Commissioners, any other questions or discussion about this institution?
Another question that I have: what happened if they want like a diploma replacement? Would we allow to issue it to them? Because this is one of the services that we've been provided to them regarding to replace their license reference letter, so forth and so on.
Sir, you would provide all of the student records, including their diploma and their transcripts, to the CIE, and we would service those records. You are still welcome to service them yourselves, but we would require that you provide us those documents in order to appropriately service the students.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Is there a motion to accept the staff recommendation?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion to accept staff recommendation is adopted. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. You guys have a nice Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too. Section M on the agenda is substantive change approval. Is there a motion to consider the 6 applications by consent?
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to take this section by consent passes. I will now ask each commissioner whether there are any items you want to pull. Commissioner Cross?
Item number 6.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Marty?
No.
Thank you. Commissioner Stefano?
I have number 6 as well.
Thank you. Commissioner Whitaker?
I have 6 as well. Thank you.
I have no others. Director Hurst, does staff wish to pull any other items?
No others.
Are there any representatives from the schools or any members of the public who would like to comment on any schools not pulled?
There is no comment.
Thank you. Is there a motion to accept staff recommendations on items 1 through 5?
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes and staff recommendations are accepted for those institutions. Moving to those that have been pulled. Institution is SMTL School of Faith and Nursing, Ocala, number 4413. Staff recommendations have been provided. If you are here from the institution, will you raise your digital hand, unmute, and introduce yourself?
There is no one on the line.
Thank you. Is there any question or discussion, commissioners? Is there any public comment on this matter?
There is no public comment.
Hearing no further discussion, is there a motion to accept staff recommendation?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Staff recommendation is adopted. Section N is branch campus applications. There are no items in this section. Section O on the agenda is name change applications. There are no items in this section. There are no agent training programs in section P. Is there a motion to accept the reports for sections 12 through 15, program terminations, approved applicant letters, licenses sent, and closed school reports by consent?
So move.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to accept reports is adopted. At this time, we will take comments from the commissioners. Do any commission members have any comments to share?
I know we do this frequently, but I'd like to thank staff for their diligent and thorough work. We're seeing a degree of thoroughness and fidelity to statute and rule that is inspiring, and one that properly orders and yet supports the mutually enhancing benefits of student protection and student advancement, as well as institutional sustainability and growth. And if we look long-term enough, these interests are aligned and are good for our state. So I just want to commend staff and Director Hurst in all the efforts in doing this in a transparent and rigorous and systematic way.
I absolutely agree. Thank you, Commissioner Stefano, and thank you, Chair Taylor Ellis. You were very efficient today, getting us through the agenda. And I know this is a small board that we serve on, so making sure we have quorum, and it's been a good team effort by all. And Commissioner Stefano for also chairing yesterday, did an awesome job, and thank you to the staff.
I agree. The thoroughness of the staff, Director Hurst, her entire team, Eric Junta, what you do, your involvement, your guidance has made these commission meetings thorough, yet effective and efficient. And there were many schools that we approved by consent, and they're doing everything right, and we applaud them. So thank you all. It's a great team effort. And if you're watching this and you're in the public, the notebooks that we receive before every meeting are thick and thorough. And then there's an attachment online that we go in and we look at all the documents, and it is thousands of pages. And know that we review and we take the information and come prepared. And we're all, this team is committed with the CIE staff to do what's right for our students, the institutions, for the industries that we serve. So thank you all. This was very, very good meetings yesterday and today.
I totally agree. By pre-reading and preparing before, it had made it a lot easier for us to understand, and the staff is doing a phenomenal job. Yes.
Thank you, commissioners, for your kind words. I would be remiss not to give a huge shout out to the CIE team. I get to sit up here and talk about all of the good work that they do, and those packets that are before you are filled with the extraordinary work that our staff does each and every day as they're in the weeds with these applications, as they're communicating with the schools and trying to find the very best outcome for students. So I would also like to extend my thanks to every member of the CIE team. We have an extraordinary team, and I am very privileged to work alongside them.
Let me offer just a last addition here, just dovetailing off of Commissioner Taylor Ellis's comment. I just want to commend Eric for his knowledge of the statutes and his readiness to always clarify and keep us on the ball. His knowledge of the specifics is enviable, and it's always ready. So just thank you for that extraordinary support and resource that you are.
Thank you, Dr. Stefano.
Yeah, beyond, you educate us. You are proactively sharing the knowledge that we may not even think to ask consistently. So I second that. Thank you. Okay, I would like to thank all of you for joining us today. Our next meeting is scheduled for January 30th and 31st, 2025. I look forward to seeing everybody there. With no further business to come before the commission, we are adjourned.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I apologize. We do have one member of the public who would like to comment. I have no idea who it is.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chairman, Commission members, can you hear me? This is Bob Harris.
Yes, we can, Mr. Harris.
I just wanted to say, and thank you, Eric. I just wanted to say I apologize profusely yesterday for having to leave the meeting. I've never had to do that before in 40 years, but I had, unfortunately, two responsibilities that butted up against each other. And apologize to my client, and I want to just apologize to you. I've never had to do that before, and but I was in a tough situation having to leave and give a speech to a number of people who were waiting for me. And I just apologize for disrupting the meeting, but thank you for giving me a chance to speak to you all briefly. But I apologize for having to interrupt the meeting. So that's all.
Thank you. We appreciate everything that you do for your institutions in your transparency and your openness.
Great. Thank you, Madam Chair, very much. You all have a great time and a great Thanksgiving. Please be
Thank
safe.
you. Thank you. So if no further business to come before the commission, we are adjourned. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Have a special time with family and friends next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.